In our first video, we discussed what would happen if Alberta becomes its own nation. In our second video, we introduced the idea of Saskatchewan joining Alberta. But now, let's imagine that British Columbia joins Alberta and Saskatchewan. Imagine a newly independent federation encompassing Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia, a Pacific Prairie Confederation, spanning roughly 2.3 million square kilometers from the Rockies to the Pacific coast. Together, these three provinces would house about 12 million people, making a confederation's population comparable to that of the Netherlands or Greece. Economically, the confederation's combined nominal GDP would reach about $972 billion, translating to a roughly $719 billion US dollars, placing it among the world's top 20 economies by size. On a per capita basis, the GDP would stand at approximately $85,100, higher than Sweden's per capita in 2025. Geographically, this new nation would unite diverse landscapes: Alberta's oil-rich lands and boreal forests, Saskatchewan's vast grain fields and potash deposits, and British Columbia's temperate rainforests, fjords, and mountain ranges. Its land area would be twice the size of France, offering bountiful opportunities in resource extraction, agriculture, tourism, and clean energy generation. Resource wealth would be unparalleled. Alberta contributes to the world's third largest oil reserves and top 5 natural gas output, while Saskatchewan supplies over a third of the world's potash and houses the largest recoverable uranium deposits. British Columbia's resource sector, mining, forestry, and energy account for 60% of its exports. This totals a megging $34 billion, with an export mix, with coal alone being $10 billion and wood products $7.7 billion. Agriculture would also flourish on the prairies. Alberta and Saskatchewan jointly rank among the top global exporters of beef, wheat, canola, and pulse crops. British Columbia would add lucrative horticulture, berries, fruit trees, viticulture, wine in the Okanagan Valley, and aquaculture, making the Confederation one of the world's breadbaskets and premium food and beverage exporters. On the fiscal front, combined provincial revenues from taxation and natural resource royalties currently total about $105 billion. Independence could enable a creation of a sovereign wealth fund set aside, say 20% of resource revenues, to stabilize budgets through commodity cycles, much like Norway's government's pension fund global. Trade partners would remain heavily oriented towards the United States, which now absorbs over 80% of Alberta's energy and more than half of Saskatchewan's agricultural exports. British Columbia's ports would diversify to Asia-Pacific markets. Now, BC mainly exports to the United States, while its Asian coal and mineral shipments could reinforce its global reach. Diversifying beyond North America, the Confederation could leverage BC's ice-free Pacific harbors to establish petrochemical and LNG terminals, grain terminals in the prairies, and forestry processing hubs. Connectivity via transcontinental rail and highway networks would support efficient flows to Europe via Alaska's Arctic corridor and potentially a Northwest Passage shipping lane. Monetary policy would require a new central bank, issuing a Pacific Prairie dollar perhaps. And this would be initially pegged to a currency basket, the US dollar, euro, and yen, or even a commodity index weighted in oil, potash, and lumber prices. This would bring stability to this new Pacific Prairie dollar. Social services, healthcare, education, and pensions would shift from federal to a new nation. With a per capita GDP cushion of $85,100, the Confederation could match or very well exceed current provincial per capita spending on social programs. This means better healthcare, better education, better social programs for those struggling, better housing, etc., etc. Compared with peer economies, the Pacific Confederation, with a GDP of $720 billion US, would rank just above Sweden and below Switzerland, while its per capita of $62,900 US would place it among the world's top 15 nations, alongside Denmark and Ireland. Its Human Development Index, 0.955 in Alberta, 0.929 in Saskatchewan, and 0.944 in BC, would combine to position the new country firmly in the top 10 globally for human development. Challenges would include managing commodity price swings, building federal institutions like defense forces, diplomatic services, etc., and meeting international environmental commitments. A unified confederation could create a Ministry of Environmental Stewardship to balance a resource development with conservation of the Rockies, boreal forest, and Pacific rainforests and coastlines. These insights sketch how Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia, united, would forge a mid-sized but wealthy resource-rich nation, one with the economic heft of Sweden, the per capita prosperity of Denmark, and the strategic advantage of an ice-free Pacific port country, ready to navigate the complexities of a sovereign nation in the 21st century. What do you think? Do you think British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan should join in together, create a mega country that would be able to exploit its resources and bring about wealth for its citizens? We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to see more videos just like this, and other videos, of course. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.